Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with another World of Warcraft secret. And here I am on the Isle of Quel'Danas, probably one of the most beautiful places in the World of Warcraft. And even though this was created back in the Burning Crusade, and yes, it could certainly benefit from a graphical upgrade that we have today, it still looks absolutely outstanding. Its theme of Blood Elves is unique. The actual atmosphere with the music and just everything about this place is, to me, unbelievable. It's also the home to arguably the hardest raid that has ever graced the World of Warcraft, and that is over here, Sunwell Plateau. And what I'm going to do in today's video is show you how to escape from Sunwell Plateau and get to the Isle of Quel'Danas with no mobs there whatsoever. Have it all to yourself. Now, as a tribute to the fact that Blizzard have decided to reverse all the nerfs to the Water Striders, which means yes, you will be able to use them in Legion and beyond, I am riding one in today's video. And this archway that I'm just about to go under right now, there is a pack of mobs under there. I have decided to clear them out beforehand because we're not going too far before we have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery. It's just that staircase in front of us, so if you do pull them, they'll start running after you and they'll pull everything. And I know it's not difficult to kill these mobs, but it just saves a little bit of time. So, go halfway up the staircase to this archway and then jump onto this ledge. If I pan the camera back, you'll see I'm not on the stairs, I'm on the actual ledge itself. And then run forward so you can't go any further and you're rammed right underneath the arch. Now use an item which allows you to grow in size for a period of time. Any will do, it doesn't matter. And once you have, you'll see your head poking through. Log out of the game. When you log back in, you'll see this. What you need to do now is hug the left hand side, but just jump up and start to wander up the pathway until you get to the top, then turn back down on yourself and then just literally push yourself out of the instance. You can fall through any of the gaps. And that is it. You have now escaped from the Sunwell Plateau raid and you are in an empty Isle of Quel'Danas. And it is just simply beautiful. And yes, role players, you're welcome. So what we can do now is just go around exploring the place, because one of the very interesting things about this is on a lot of the secret videos which I've done, when we've escaped from whatever instance or wherever we are, then normally the world around it has somehow been artificially created. It's either been cut out of another segment, or it literally has boundaries which come to an end, or just horrible mess everywhere. But with the Isle of Quel'Danas, that is not the case. You see, one of the very special things about the Sunwell Plateau raid is the fact that it's open air. Look at it. You are outdoors so much of the time that you can always see over the boundaries, over the walls, and you can see out onto the isle itself. Therefore, the isle has to become a living, breathing environment for people to actually see. So in this case, one of the things that they've done is they've actually put bird life into it. So where something can feel quite eerie and empty, this isle actually feels a little bit alive because there are still birds flying all over the sky, and you see the shadows pass over you, and it does give you that sort of element of life, which is really, really cool and something that's a wee bit different from what we've seen so far in secret videos. So let's go to some specific locations, and here I am on the Dead Scar. No Scourge, no Legion fighting each other. We can just move our way up nice and easily. This is one of these weird glitchy places as well that even if you weren't in combat, it might take you there. Now on the live servers, this is where you probably would get invisible walled off. You can't go any further and Brutalis would start shouting at you. But now we can actually push ourselves a little bit further on, which also allows us to sneak around the side here. The edge there isn't solid and you can poke yourself through. Invisible walls still around there, but if you sneak around the back of the tree you can actually get around, and then we're finally scuppered when we get to here. There's invisible walls now blocking us completely off from the fight, because if we could get to Britannis, we could engage it in combat and it would actually start that fight. So yeah, it's a little bit weird, but we can at least get a wee bit further on. So role players, just saying, there's another area for you right there. So let's head a bit further down the coastline. Now this area here is where there was some nasty Naga, and also I believe some neutral, if memory serves me correctly, some neutral Murlocs as well. You can see all their housing there, so feel free to do what you want with that. But it is a really kind of cool area. And then if I just start to go in this direction and hang a right, when I get to the pathway, we're going to start going up to where Magister's Terrace is, because the dungeon has a physical exterior form on the Isle of Quel'Danas. And what's really cool is, of course, you can see the dungeon from the raid, and when you're in the dungeon itself, there's actually a part where you look through a telescope across to the raid. So it's all very kind of meta there. But alas, the front door is blocked off by an invisible wall, and no matter what I tried, Dark Moon Fair items, blinking through, all that kind of jazz, nothing, sadly, could get me through there. If anyone has, comment section down below. But you can always go around the back, remember? There is this little element here. Now, you can do this on live. This isn't just like unique to the secret, but if you go around the back there, you can actually see the Blood Elf fleet in the bay. So let's go have a look at that, shall we? And can I just say, just look how majestic this Water Strider is. This Water Strider that is no longer going to be affected by any nerfs in Legion. Right, so we've arrived at the fleet, and I gotta say, there's just something so beautiful about the Blood Elf vessels. These are my absolute favourites, and I know aesthetically, Blizz have created some gorgeous looking ships in Warlords of Draenor, but to me, these are just majestic. Just imagine what they would look like with the sails up and open, and yeah, wonderful kind of stuff. So yeah, I really like that. So let's head back into the Isle itself and go through some of the buildings. Now, to most people, the town will probably look very familiar indeed, at least to people that played the Burning Crusade. We had our reputations here, we had our quartermasters, vendors, all that kind of jazz, and they were scattered in each of the buildings. But when we jump off the edge here, where I'm going to now is where we actually perform the daily quests. There was the Blood Elves and the Legion fighting here, and it was all quite hectic. So this area might not be as familiar, because when you tend to be doing daily quests and such in certain points, you're not really concentrating. At least I don't. I mean, you know, I don't want to tar you with my brush, but I don't concentrate too much on the aesthetics around me. I've kind of got my mind focused on what the goal of the quest is. So now that's no longer relevant. We're not looking to kill a certain mob or X amount of mobs or collect this, that and the other. We can actually have a good old explore and look around the buildings that are actually here. This one being my favourite because it just looks a little bit unique, a little bit different, and actually could have been a really cool building in the garrison, but yeah, never mind. And if you've had enough exploring, don't worry, you don't have to Hearthstone out, just head to the entrance of the raid. When you go through, you'll fall to the floor but be able to see the raid portal. Walk to it and you will be teleported outside back to the live servers, and where the Isle of Quel'Danas is once again full up of creeps, and yes, it does feel different again. So that is how you escape from Sunwell Plateau, and I really do hope that you enjoyed the vid. If you did, give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links, they're in the description down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye bye.